That's Ali Whitton, and no, he didn't give it up. Instead, he's just released his debut solo album titled Between the Forest and the Stars. It's produced by Dave Kahn and Reb Fountain. Here's Ali to tell us what made him decide to carry on making music. Well, congratulations on a new album.
Thank you.
I actually have a copy of it here.
Yes, great, cool, beautiful.
Very cool. Sounds great on vinyl.
Thank you. Yeah. It was definitely its deserved format, I think. Yeah.
Nice. So let's get a little background information about you before we proceed on with the nuts and bolts of this record. So you're originally a Kiwi, but you grew up in England, in UK, in England, and then you came back here. And along the way, you ran into Ed Sheeran. That's the short version, but elaborate a little on what you think is important, what we need to know about you.
Oh, yeah. So New Zealand born, but to British parents, and they're the least likely people to have ever really been here.
Right.
Working on the other side of the world. So, yeah, very lucky. And then, took up music really quite late, self-taught. Gigged in the UK with a bit of a band and then moved to London and kind of went solo and just did that circuit for ages and bumped into an unknown ginger-haired guy at that time called Ed. And then, did lots of gigging and then ended up gigging in France because somebody heard a record I made and they were like, come over here and I can sell it for you, but you've got to come and gig. So I started gigging a lot in France as well. And then basically at 27 years old, had kind of a burnout.
Right.
And then looked at the fact that I had a New Zealand passport and was like, well, screw this. Pack it all in.
Yep.
Had a breakup, a burnout and all that sort of stuff. And then, came here.
Yep.
And then it's been on and off for 16 years since that move. I gave up music for a little. I felt sort of quite burnt by it.
Right.
For a wee while, and then it just found my way back in, and I've been trying to be careful never to put the pressure on that I did.
Did you know it was going to come back to you, or did you give up altogether?
Even when I kind of gave up for a bit, I just was like, writing really interested me, so I sort of tried to carry on writing like short stories and stuff. And then 2 years into being in New Zealand, I like really got into being in the bush and trying to teach myself to surf and all that sort of stuff. And I just thought, actually, like, what's the point of, if I had been a successful musician, I wouldn't have life to inform the songs. So I've always kind of had that balance of like,
got to have something to write about.
It's a balance, but it's also a tension. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. And what were your first musical memories? What kind of attached itself to you at the beginning that you first remember?
Oh, yeah. Well, very first memories, which is ironic because of what I've ended up doing, is Buddy Holly and Bob Dylan being played in the car.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. And we used to complain about Bob Dylan. I've got a twin brother. We used to sit in the back seat and call him the man that couldn't sing. And we were like, and my dad was always like, listen to the words. And that's who I became, like, listen to the words. Like,
wise man, your dad.
And then Mum was a bit more of a folky hippie, so she had guitars and would go down the local folk club and sing Tom Paxton songs. It was her favorite. And then so there was that kind of music around, but neither one of them were like and then really it was the isolation of the North Yorkshire countryside that was like boredom pushed me to teach myself guitar,
because there was nothing else to do.
And I got quite into music, I suppose, in my teens, and then taught myself guitar, and then
nice. Because I did notice one track on the album a bit Dylan-esque about it, By Your Side, had a little Bob feel.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Well, I wake up in the morning, I'm somewhere on a mountain. It's clouded by the sky and I don't know what I'm climbing. I don't even know why. I can't see what I'm fighting for, but I gotta push on through. The sickness is subsiding, and maybe by the evening I'll be almost nearly smiling. I just wanna be that guy, the one that you were liking more than me.
Yeah, there's some others that I'll play live that are like almost too Dylan-esque. I mean, like the blues and it's a really great format for like spitting out visceral lyrics, especially with the political situation. So I've got a couple of new ones that like they're probably never album tracks because they're out of date by the time I thought they were out of date by the time, if I ever recorded it, but one I wrote a couple of years ago when Trump kind of got back in is suddenly quite
relevant.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing about Bob Dylan. I mean, some of those things that he was writing in the early 60s when he was writing about political things.
Yeah,
you go back now and you go, well, actually, I can see where you're coming from. So there you go.
Yeah.
And write what you feel at the moment, I guess. All right. So, and I was listening to a track called Give It Up Now that I think was recorded by Dave Kahn and Reb, but it's not on the album, is it?
No, it's the same session though. Yeah, and it was like just didn't quite fit with the rest of the record we thought, and we could seed it as a sort of Hello to Ali Whitton single back in February last year. I thought everything would be a lot quicker. I'd release that and then everything would happen, but it took a while.
20 years I should have quit. What the hell am I doing now? Gave my whole damn life to it. Get your feet back on the ground, yeah. Or get your feet back on the ground. Get a job, join the crowd, save some money, settle down. What were you thinking? Nobody's listening. Just give it up now.
And that kind of seems to address you wanting to give up or thinking that you're going to give up everything, but obviously you didn't, because you met. How did you hook up with Dave and Reb?
My 16 years in New Zealand, and my Kiwi partner is big fan of New Zealand music and going to gigs and was a big Reb fan. So when I'd written all of the songs for the record, and I needed to find a producer, she was like, well, just have a look at who did Reb's records. And she talked about Reb quite a lot, and I'd sort of peripherally listened, but I did that thing, which you, by the looks of your background, you probably do, where I sat down with the vinyl and kind of read the lyrics and listened.
I'm a big Reb fan. I've been following her for years, very much so.
Yeah. So, and then I Instagram messaged Dave and was like, I've written 52 songs. I need to make a record. Would you be interested in talking to me? Yeah. So, yeah.
It's pretty cool. That's a great thing about New Zealand. I find I'm from the States, obviously, with my accent. But I've been here 30 years. But everybody's so accessible. You know, it's like, oh, you can hear somebody, you want to work with them, boom, they're on the other end of the line without any problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there was really, that's it. There wouldn't have been like 1,000 producers to choose from as well. So there would have been like maybe 3 or 4 in the ilk. And then I think I'd Googled Dave Kahn and found out he played pedal steel.
Right.
From an interview, and
he plays pretty much everything, actually.
So that was a big thing for me.
So what kind of discussion did you have with Dave and Reb about what you wanted to sound like on this record? Well,
actually, for all I'm like back then, just turning 40, I suppose, but I really am was quite not naive, but like really very impressionable. So I was just like, I got these songs. And I let myself be guided. So so there was no solid identity from me going, this is it and this is what I want. And what we did was I'd go up to Auckland for long weekends and a number of times and just kind of bash out different songs with them in Reb's kind of garage and studio area. And they would push me. To begin with, they sort of was gentle, and then they did push me to a place like that ended up getting a song like Forever on the record.
Right.
Initially, that when that groove came up and she was like, oh, mess up these lyrics from this song, try this kind of thing. She was like, yeah, just try and go with it. Like she was trying to be like, you might find it's a leather jacket, shades on kind of a song. And I'm like, oh, that's not me. And I came back to Wellington after that one, particularly feeling quite uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, oh, I don't know. So it was just that, but that's great, isn't it? Really? Because it pushes you to somewhere where, hang on, and I think they pushed me just slightly beyond, out of my comfort zone, but then just slightly to a point where I was like, that must be where it ends for me right now.
Right.
And now I think having done Forever, like I can be stretched further next time.
Yep. Because I don't know how familiar you are with Reb's career, but she's done the same thing with herself. She's very much a different artist now than she was when I first found out about her years ago. And that's a great thing about collaborating. Somebody else can hear something in you that you wouldn't be aware of at all. And you can either say, yep, that's cool, or no, I don't want to have anything to do with it. But at least you have the option.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's it. I think if the record sounded like I imagined it would sound like at the beginning, then it hasn't been successful collaboration, really. So that's yeah, and that's a really big part of creativity for me, is to trust. It's to trust the people you're alongside, and then kind of find the middle way, I suppose.
Right. Now, you mentioned Forever, which you co-wrote with Reb. The other one that's a co-write is Romance Films. What can you tell me about that one? How did that come together?
And I sat all alone in an old picture show, wondering what the hell I was learning. Romance films, you've got a lot to answer for. You told my heart there was something more.
Yeah, that one came together because I'd written these 52 songs, and
52?
Yeah, so
you just rattled that off like everybody does that.
It was one a week for a year, so I'd done one of those challenges, and yeah, there was song number 19 of the year. It had that Romance Films, you've got a lot to answer for as a chorus. And she said, I think that would go with the melody, like the verse melody of like song number 5 or something.
Right.
And so then I was like, all right, let me figure it out. And then yeah, so the co-writers, because it would never have existed if she'd have not gone take these 2 bits. But then similar to Forever as well, when I had to like write that in the new vein, like I'm very, very visual. Like, so I just picture something and then kind of write. And so for me, it was like, I just started writing about Paris in the rain. I had a bad time in Paris in the rain with an ex-girlfriend one time. And so the opening line, sad carousels in the low, lazy rain. So I was just writing this kind of thing. And then I think Reb chipped in with a couple of the lines. And then it got this, for me, it's a black and white Paris in the rain, like, what am I doing here? And just feeling, so it's that kind of song. And it was, cool.
And you had to figure that somebody's going to ask you what your favorite romance film is after writing the song.
Oh, no, yeah, cool. Like actually, sticking with the French theme, probably Amélie.
That's a good choice. Yeah, there you go.
Young man, yeah, that was my like comfort romance film.
Nice one. Yeah, that's excellent. Cool. And what were so did you record it in Roundhead or did you record it in Oamaru?
Oamaru, yeah. So 10 days, 10 days recording over 12 days there. So one break day in the middle, and then it got mixed by D Stevens in Roundhead. Yeah.
Right.
So so it's cool. Dave Kahn is like all about the process as well. So as much as we did 6 months kind of workshopping all the songs, really it was like sometimes getting a trance version of something, and pushing it and just like seeing what happens, and not going in then with solid demos to the 10 days. So again, a lot of trust there. But it was like, oh, what did we do? Well, we've got these 5 ideas for this song, like, and then just feeling how. And then kind of developing the identity of the band that we were there with,
right?
Over those 10 days, like, no, this band sounds like it would do this kind of thing, and so it was quite cool. We called him Dave the Process Kahn.
But that's when you just telling me that, I don't think people realize how much work goes into making a record like this. Like you're talking about workshopping for 6 months,
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's like the Beatles' first album. You walk in, you play 12 songs in a couple hours, and boom, it's all done, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm probably not a details person, so that was a good test.
And even go all Steely Dan on them anyway, right?
yeah. And even after doing it, that was all August 24. And I remember Reb saying to me, "Oh, your record, it might not even be released in the next year." Right. And I was like, no way, let alone nearly 2 years. Yeah,
crazy. So now that it's out, how does it feel? What are you going to do? What do you hope for it? What do you want people to get out of it?
What
do you want to get out of it?
So I wanted to do a tour in June, but because of the fuel stuff, I've sort of penciled it back to October now.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I mean, all I want is for it to find its connection in its audience, really. Like, I don't know, because it can be a challenge in existence being a solo singer-songwriter, and like, it's an indie one, so you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
it can be unanswered emails, and I call it like silent rejection. So my partner doesn't know at the end of a day, or like the end of some weeks, that like several things have gone unanswered. I don't go and that's another one. So, but it's just that kind of feeling. And it's been cool to see the songs connect. And and I've definitely struggled with that balance of like ego validation, but also creating art for yourself. Like, because I really always hope people like it. And I hope people connect to it, but, and I have to actually like anchor myself and have my like little compass as like, I've done a thing, I'm proud of it. It is what it is, and try to have no expectations. But also then it's this secret hope that it finds its audience and it connects a little bit.
Gotcha.
But I haven't got crazy dreams like I hope I'm a millionaire and but
not
like
in this day and age.
Exactly. Yeah.
Although, I mean, did it ever cross your mind to call up Mr. Sheeran and say, "Yo, give me a hand here"? Because I could.
Oh yeah, well, I'm still mates with him. So one of the reasons I'm still mates with him is because
you haven't mooched off him. Because you haven't mooched off him, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So because of my little burnout in 2010, just when he was getting big, a lot of the singer-songwriters we were playing with at the time, so I caught up with him every time he was in New Zealand, and I remember at one point being in a car with him, and he was getting, when Twitter was still a thing, you know, people just saying, "Can you push this? Can you promote this?" Da-da-da-da-da. And I saw how exhausting it was for him. So I was just like, even when I had mates or friends, kind of, even with like very well-meaning little kids saying, "Can you get an autograph?" I wouldn't bother him for anything, because he gets it from everywhere. And but then it's been nice because he's nudged me to do the writing, and he's got a copy of the record, and he knows I'm here if he ever wants to.
There's plenty of time now. You're a new artist. You're just a budding career now, right?
Yeah.
So
my hairline tells a different story.
Yeah, well, join the party, you know. It means nothing these days. So, and you were in a band at one point, right? When you were starting out years ago. Do you prefer, you kind of mentioned that it's kind of lonely now being on your own, but then there's advantages to that. What are you thinking about it now compared to the way it was?
I'd just love to have, so that when I talk about like the record, I would love connection from the record. The other thing is that, connection to people who want to play, really, because my own musicianship has suffered a bit from not playing as much with the people. Certainly my confidence to going to the studio with Reb and Dave, like I wish I was more accustomed to playing with other people. On the other hand, like I've got like, it means that I've always thought from a songwriting perspective, if a song sounds good with just you, then you can make it better.
Yep.
And sometimes you can, I reckon if you're in a band, you could write bad songs that sound good.
That's true too.
But for me, also like as a kind of compulsive creative, like, the idea of having more options of doing creative things, and some of the Dylan-y stuff that I've written recently, like I want to be a bit more mischievous, and I'd love to like see what can, because my gigs at the moment pretty mellow. And,
right. Is it just you so far?
Yeah, and poetic and stuff. And so actually being able to do something that was just kind of, it got people moving would be quite a cool experience. And there's a whole part of me that would love to do that.
Yep.
But it's at 42 in the small pool of New Zealand. It's hard to find musicians to play with that. You know,
there does seem to be, especially up here in Auckland, there's a pool of musicians that are playing with everybody. You see,
exactly,
like Dave Kahn is one of them. Cass Basil, people like that. Alistair Deverick, I mean, it's just like I've seen them at every show, and they're behind different people all the time. They're amazing. So. But there's got to be somebody out there. Hopefully somebody will watch. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about was the artwork on the album. Because it's done by Patrick Atkins, I believe is the name in the thing. Where did you find this person, and why is this representative of the record?
Well, just like I suppose you said, like that process and the amount of work goes into it, and I said I'm not really a details person. Probably then I would have just gone, kick the record out. I didn't really want a photo of me on the front. I would have taken a photo of a tree or something and put it out without thinking about it. But
there's a little drawing of a tree somewhere in here, I think.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. But I was luckily kind of mentored by a couple of people who are sort of music management that's sort of been some of the delay, was like just seeing if the industry was interested in the record a bit. But they mentored me and said, no, you got to think about the whole package. And so good promo shots that look different to how I exist as a human.
It is show business.
Not like face makeup or anything, but
but still, it is, people want to be entertained, and they want to. I know when I came to New Zealand, I was a bit disappointed because Kiwis are very different than Americans in the way they present themselves on stage. The shoegaze is a real thing. They just stand down there and look at I'm like, oh my God, give me something here. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm totally the same. Like, I hate those gigs when they don't talk to an audience. I'm like, oh, come on. But yeah, so so similarly, they said, get together your like mood board and then work. Yeah, and they sort of suggested this guy Patrick Atkins after I was like looking at different illustrators, and they wanted something that wasn't cutesy folk art, but something just a little bit representative of the sound of the record. And then I worked with him, and then I suppose the concept for me was part North Yorkshire, part South Coast Wellington, these two places that shaped me. So when you open it out, there's the Yorkshire Fields on the front cover, and then it moves into that. So that bent tree on the back cover. And then that's the zoom into the sort of landscape of like, it's about that kind of like, there's hope.
And it's very kind of Van Gogh-esque, kind of starry style to it, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's the small like light of hope and warmth amongst the like kind of understanding the universe, really. I think it's like, All
right. So with this thing years in the making, are you all ready to make the next record already?
Well, pending the millionaire thing. You
can always make a call now, and see.
Put it into the. I've got like. I've not been writing at the same speed, but what I've been doing now is that 52, like writing.
Yeah, you don't need 52 next time. I don't think that.
No,
25 will probably hold you.
But it means that like it was like going to the gym and getting strong.
Sure.
And so I know a bit more about the craft, or I'm a bit more confident in the craft. So sometimes I've been chipping away at a song for quite a while now, and really getting it to a place, and then locking into where I like it. Whereas before, I'd almost always just reflect the demo to somebody and be like, do you like this? And if they liked it, I'd keep it. And if they didn't, I would not keep it.
Right.
Whereas now I'm just being a bit more confident in, I think I like this. I'm creating a poem and a landscape that matters to me. And so I've got enough songs for the second record already, but I've got like 5 that I'd love to, 5 or 6 that are like the definites.
Cool.
And so I'd like to get to the 12 and 13 of like that feeling of those songs.
Cool. Well, you're on your way. See how the record does. You could be a millionaire before you know it.
Yeah. I do think like my partner's seen what all the work's done to me for this one, and so when I mentioned the second album the other day, she was like, "Well, just have a rest.
Take a breath." If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.